Virtual Racing School was developed to provide support to the next generation of sim racers. No matter if you're a rookie or veteran or what car or track you'll be racing, our goal is to provide training every step of the way. We found that iRacing can be quite difficult without proper training. There needed to be a way to prepare for on-track racing. With VRS, you can literally learn from the best sim racers in the world, including 4-time NASCAR iRacing World Champion Ray Alfala.
And Ray Alfala is a 4-time champion of the NASCAR Pekin Freeze iRacing Series.
3-time iRacing Grand Prix World Champion Martin Kroenke.
Martin Kroenke becomes a 3-time world champion.
Rallycross World Champion Mitchell de Jong.
Mitchell de Jong is now champion for the iRacing Rallycross World Championship Series.
And many other top sim racers. Data packs include everything you need to start learning. Our World Championship coaches create the data packs by setting a hot lap or a series of fast laps for you to compare, analyze, and replicate. Data packs also include a tutorial where the coach points out techniques they use to hit the fast lap. This gives you access to the latest driving techniques and setups before you even hit the track. Sign up for a free account and download the VRS Telemetry logger. With this application running seamlessly in the background, your laps automatically start syncing to the VRS website. From there, you can analyze and compare 2 laps of your choice, whether it's your data, the coaches, or your teammates. VRS will automatically target improvement opportunities so you can get up to speed even faster. VRS also makes it easy for you to request and schedule one-on-one or group coaching sessions. These sessions can range from 30 to 90 minutes, and you can select the car, track, and setup combination of your choice. Visit virtualracingschool.com today to sign up and get started.
Ricmotech high-performance sim racing equipment. There's only one place to go, ricmotech.com.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to round number 7 of the brand new Extreme Motorsports Ricmotech Lambo Trophy Series, presented by Performa Elite Texas Graphics, Apex Racing Academy, and Extreme Scoring here on Apex Racing TV. I'm Greg Ginsburg, and joining me as he has all season long in the announce booth here is Larry Lefty McLeod. And of course, we've got Apex Racing TV's Dennis Branch and Jonathan Grabowski manning the controls. And it's only fitting that tonight we wrap up the inaugural Lambo Trophy Series just an hour east of these cars' birthplace and their factory in St. Agata, Italy, and we're going to be at a circuit that opened in '53, first hosting motorcycles and then Formula One, with its first non-championship event won in 1963 by Jim Clark. Since then, it's played host to the Italian Grand Prix, the San Marino Grand Prix, and just last year, the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. It's played host to some of the grandest victories in the sport, and unfortunately, some of its greatest tragedies. Tonight, we head to the Autodromo Internazionale Enzo Dino Ferrari, better known as Imola. So first off, Larry, happy Thanksgiving to you, and welcome to the finale.
Yeah, well, I've had my turkey. I'm all stuffed, as they say, and I am totally ready for this feast of a finale that we're going to have here, because I think this is a great track for these cars. As you mentioned, it's kind of right there near their birthplace, so it's kind of a great fitting end to what's been a great season here at the Lamborghini Trophy Series.
Yeah, I have to concur, Larry. And I think the double sprint race format that we've had, along with the inverted fields every single week, it's really brought the action here to the LTS, and it's certainly kept the battles tight. And we're going to go over our standings here in just a few moments. If you're looking to be crowned the series first champion, how would you be approaching tonight's counterclockwise circuit at Imola?
Well, it depends on which position you're in, but certainly if you're trying to chase and move up a couple of points here and you're not the leader, you've got to be aggressive. You got to be aggressive early and often. You've got to try and basically win both these sprints. But if you are the overall points leader, we'll get to those names in a minute, you may have to be a little conservative. You may be just trying to capture as many points as you can without getting wrecked out, without making the big mistake, putting a tire off, or getting one of those famous off tracks that we have here at Imola. So I think it depends on which end of the spectrum you're coming into this finale in.
Yeah, Larry. All right. So as our drivers are finishing up their drivers meeting, their briefing right now with the stewards, they're going to be going on track here in just a few moments for their qualifying session. But in the meantime, besides, Larry and I could wax philosophical about Imola probably all day long, but why don't we turn it over to the experts? Why don't we turn it over to Kevin Ford? He's going to give us tonight's track guide of Imola.
Welcome, everyone, to Imola GP, located here in beautiful Italy. Great to have you with us as we provide you your track guide today around this 17-turn, 3-mile road course. The first auto event was actually held all the way back in June of 1954, and although the course has seen modifications and changes over the years, it is still revered as one of the most exciting and challenging courses in motorsports. Well, let's head up the front straightaway here. You'll notice our main grandstands to the left, our pit area to the right. As we approach the start-finish line here, we'll head down into turn 1, into this very heavy, fast brake zone of turn 2. Very tight wrapping corner here, back to the left. We'll come right back to the right and set up our entry into turn 4. Out of 4, we've got a very fast short chute here that'll lead us down into this next little S corner here of 5 and 6, known as Villeneuve. Out of 6, use up a lot of that curbing. We'll swing right back to the right to set up our entry into Tosa here, turn 7. A lot of rotation here, plenty of room to get some good runoff to head uphill into this very interesting left-hander we have coming. A little blind entry here. Right back to throttle, use up a lot of that track out. Then down into a Q Minerale. Very fast section, heavy brake zone. Very tight wrapping corner here to come up off the exit. Use a little bit of the curbing. Get some good acceleration to come up the hill here into the next very tight chicane of turns 11 and 12. Heavy on the brakes. Back to the left. This will bring us out of 12. And then downhill here one more time into Ravazza. Very fast section here. You will see passing down into this section, but very heavy brake zone. Into turns 14 and 15. Using up a little bit of curb. Get some good rotation here out of 15. Come to throttle as quickly as possible. Get as much acceleration to come down this very long and very fast straightaway here at Imola GP. There you go. There's your track guide for this beautiful course here in Italy. We do appreciate you being with us.
All right, and thank you very much to Kevin Ford for tonight's track guide of our venue, Imola. And Larry, as we were watching Kevin Ford make his way around the track in the Lamborghini, a couple things stuck out to me. One, I don't think he kept it on track all the whole way around. As you were talking about the off tracks that drivers get. The other thing is, our producer Dennis pointed this out. There are a lot of corners here with some very tall curbing and some sausage curves, and the Lamborghini doesn't seem to like it all that much in a couple of places here. Definitely some opportunities, some passing opportunities, as drivers might find their cars just slightly out of sorts.
I think so. This place definitely the famous of the difficult ones, the Variante Alta, the one at the top of the hill there. Very difficult chicane because of its super tight entry in there. And that's one where a lot of cars will just get hammered across those curbs. And also, if you go too wide, you can go a little bit, but you go too wide, you'll pick up one of those off tracks. But the other one would be the Variante Tamburello, where the old Tamburello curve was. That's another one. It's kind of a difficult one, a lot faster, but the exit is just so critical. You screw that one up, though, you bounce around, you might find yourself a little bit of a tough position in getting a pass there as well. So there's a very tough track, but as we were all watching the track guide there and talking to each other a little bit, we all agreed it's a lot of fun to drive this place.
Oh yeah, yeah. And funny you should mention Tamburello. Of course, we talked about some of the biggest downers, we'll say, in racing. Of course, we lost Ayrton Senna there. And I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the loss, of course, this week of Sir Frank Williams, and my best to his family. Not that they know me, but certainly a huge loss in auto racing this past week.
The motorsports family worldwide definitely had a soft spot for Frank and what he's done and his impact on motorsports. We all feel that one.
Yeah. So, all right. So we've got qualifying underway right now. As always, a 15-minute qualifying session, what we call lone car qualifying. Each driver, that appears to them as though they are the only cars out on track. They'll have 4 laps in order to set the fast lap and set the grid for tonight's first race of the evening. And of course, our second race, as we always do here in the Lambo Trophy Series, we're going to invert the top 10 finishers to set the grid for our second 30-minute sprint race of the evening. But while our drivers are just now starting to turn in their first flying laps here in qualifying, why don't we take a look, Larry, and see where we stand in the points here? As this season, as we mentioned, this is the finale. This is the last week of 7 here in the Lambo Trophy Series, and things are very close here. So let's take a look at the pro category here first. Coming off a first and third place finish just a couple weeks ago at Sebring, Caleb Lavender, he is currently your points leader in the pro category with 329 points. You can see there he's got an 18-point advantage right now over Mike Dam. Mike Dam was not at Sebring, so did not collect any points. And he is here this evening, however, and I'm sure he's going to be going for that championship. Then we've got 45 points back from there. We've got Mike's Orion Racing teammate Travis Schwenke currently sitting on 266 points. That's 45 back from Mike Dam. Then we've got Eric Violet coming off a third place finish and a second place finish, sitting fourth. And then Chris Thorman, who had a 6th place finish for race number 1, and the field invert definitely helped his cause, took the win in the pro category in race number 2 at Sebring. All right, so let's take a look at the open category here.
Just as tight here as it is in the pro, huh?
Yes, it is actually a little bit tighter, Larry, as Russ Ruddock, coming off of 2 second-place finishes at Sebring, currently leads the open category with 222 points. That is a 17-point advantage over the Frito Sport Racing entry of Mike Taylor. And we're going to be talking to Mike here in just a few moments. We're going to have him on with us just before our racers head out for race number 1. The D2D E-Racing entry of Bobby Childs at the number 88 car. He is 14 points back in third, but then only 4 points separates Bobby from the 046 Racing entry of John Casey.
I'd keep an eye on Bobby as tonight unfolds, because he comes into this with several victories this season. Yes. And then a couple of bad races. So as we get into, last night here, he might be certainly a factor in this class, considering his performance. Three wins already coming in. If he picks up another one, he's going to really mix up these points.
Yeah, I would definitely. I wouldn't necessarily put all my money on him, but I'd put a good portion of my earnings on Bobby here. So we've got John Casey sitting in fourth. Nick Parsono, 10 points back from John. Parsono picked up a third place finish and then won race number 2 at Sebring a couple weeks ago. So again, real competitive. And Larry, we award points for both races, for races 1 and 2. You can get extra points for leading laps, for racing clean, and also for sitting on pole in your category. So certainly there is the opportunity for drivers to move up in the order here. And of course, what everybody is going to be playing for is we've got a great prize prize. Now, you don't have to be the champion to come away and win this prize, but it will definitely help your cause, as we are going to be raffling off a great prize here. 5 free laps behind the wheel of a Lamborghini Gallardo at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Also, that includes classroom instruction and professional in-car instruction as well. And to be eligible to win, well, first you got to have a driver's license, but you will get, I said it's a raffle, you will get more entries into the raffle based on how many points you earn. You earn more points in the series, you get more entries. Basically, 1 point in the series is 1 raffle entry. So, everybody has the chance to win, but certainly the better you do in the series, the more chances you have to win that great prize. So let's take a look at qualifying now, Larry, as we're just about halfway through the 15-minute qualifying session. And in the pro category, your current points leader, Caleb Lavender, he is the fastest driver on track with a 0.09 of a second advantage over Mike Dam. Now, Dam was your leader coming into Sebring 2 weeks ago, but again, did not race, and so he is now sitting back 18 points behind Lavender. Travis Schwenke, the Orion Racing teammate of Mike Dam, currently sitting 3rd in qualifying here, and he's not all that far off the pole right now, as he's just about 3/4 of a second off of Caleb Lavender, currently sitting in 3rd with we have Mr. Ramler. That's Scott Ramler in the GTM Racing entry. He is sitting 4th now. This is, I believe, only the 2nd round that Scott has run with us in that GTM Racing car. So we'll see how he does tonight. He's a little bit too far back in the order to be in contention for the championship, but good to see him back here with us for the finale. If we jump over and take a look at the open category, you said it, the driver to watch, and we can barely see him right now as he's poking the nose out from behind the pit wall there. Bobby Childs, who has turned 3 flying laps so far, he is your provisional pole sitter in the open category, a 142.6, about 0.5 of a second up on Scott Brooks in the number 94 machine. Scott Brooks currently running, I believe we mentioned he is currently sitting back in 6th in the championship currently. 3rd fastest driver, Russ Ruddick. Ruddick in the, in the number 95 entry, he is currently sitting 3rd in class, about 5,700 back behind our provisional pole sitter, Bobby Childs.
Going to be a tight battle, I think, in both classes tonight. I think if you're coming into this in the lead, if you're Russ Ruddick in the open category, or if you're Caleb Lavender over there in the pro category, I think there's a bit of a target on your back, and everyone knows got to start finishing ahead of that guy. And so for each of them, it's going to be very important to get off to a good, clean start and to make sure you at least end up in that top half of the field here at the end of that first race, or the top 10, as we do that inversion. But if you are Mike Dam and you're coming into this, with didn't even make it to Sebring last week, he's got another finish earlier in the year that was pretty rough for him. Tonight's a night where he needs the wins. He needs to win this first race, and then he needs to probably win or finish second in the second race and finish ahead of Lavender, I think. But I think it's still an opportunity for him, but he's going to have to really work hard at being near perfect tonight to see if he can pull this off.
All right, we're watching right now Travis Schwenke in that the number 16 Orion Racing entry. He has already put in his 4 flying laps, so he is going to rest on a fast time of a 141.32. That is 3rd fastest in the session. Tony Kernan, who we're back on board with right now, he's working his 3rd lap. First lap was invalidated due to an off track. He is currently sitting 4th at a 141.49. So only, about 1,500 or so back from Travis Schwenke. Currently, provisionally, he's sitting on the outside of row number 2. But it's starting to look, it looks like most of our drivers have turned in all of their flying laps. One driver that hasn't, besides Tony Kernan, Nick Parsono, currently sitting 4th in the open category. And Parsono with a fast time of 143.34. That is 1,400 of a second off of Ruddick. There's Parsono as he makes his way, comes on down, looks like towards, looks like that is now coming down towards Aqua Minerale, I believe, Larry?
Yep, that's that very, very difficult right-hander to go up that hill. It's difficult in that you're carrying a lot of speed downhill into it, but also iRacing's put a very unfriendly off-track on the exit there. So if you run a little bit wide left in that Aqua Minerale exit chicane, you will pick up a slowdown, not just a 1X. You'll pick up a slowdown and have to let the field on by you and lose all that track position. So a very difficult spot for these drivers in this very heavy, wide, large car that may not necessarily want to just drift and glide around there. They're going to have to really be precise coming out of that corner.
Talk about heavy and wide. Tony Kernan taking that corner incredibly wide there as he is working lap number, this is his final attempt, lap number 4 here in qualifying, trying to, again, best that 141.47, see if he can leapfrog Travis Schwenke and move over to the inside of row number 3 and maybe even jump, or probably inside of row number 2 and maybe even jump up to the front row. Eric Violet also on track currently in the number 89 machine. Violet currently sitting 10th. There is the dark blue number 89. A little surprising to see Mr. Violet that far back in the field currently, and he's working on a 142.37 as his fastest lap, and this is his 4th and final attempt.
All right, well, we've got about a minute and a half, 2 minutes here before we line things up on the grid. Why don't we bring in Mike Taylor, who's currently sitting 2nd in the open class. We'll have a quick chat with Mike and see how his race is about to unfold. All right, we've got Mike Taylor here with us as a bit of a pre-race discussion. Mike, how's your practice and qualifying going so far?
Well, about as expected, I think. This is not one of my better tracks, and I just really concentrated on trying to keep my nose clean and try not to get too many off tracks or whatever, and just try to see where things shake out.
Yeah, we were just talking about it. This place has a lot of the 1X off tracks and either some of the apex or even some of the exit corners, but it also has a lot of those slowdown penalties. I don't know if you found all of them yet in your practice sessions or not.
I hope I found all of them. If there were more than I admit, then I didn't hit, then I'd be shocked. You know?
Yeah,
and some of them are really seem in really strange places where it doesn't feel like you really got off or cut a corner, and all of a sudden you got to slow down. They do bleed off pretty fast here, though. You don't have to slow way down to get it to bleed off, but you do have to slow down some.
Yeah, well, that's good at least if you do end up getting one, or if you recognize that your competition has one, you want to make sure you scoot by them quickly because they're not going to be slowed down for long.
Absolutely.
So are you going to be watching the folks around you tonight, trying to stay ahead of certain names just to maximize the points, or are you just going to go at it and see where this ends up?
Well, I'm going to try to keep my nose clean to try to get as many bonus points as I can, and not take any extreme chances or anything, and just see where we end up at the end of the night.
That's a solid strategy. So good luck tonight, Mike. We'll be rooting for you, and hopefully we'll talk to you at the end of the night.
Thanks a lot, guys.
All right, there you go. That was Mike Taylor, driver of the number 66 Free to Sport Racing entry. He's currently sitting 2nd in the open category points, Larry, and we'll let you know where he stands in qualifying here in just a second. Why don't we run down the starting orders? Our drivers are starting the grid up for tonight's first race.
All right, here we go. Starting tonight, last night of the season, on pole from D2D Racing, it's Caleb Lavender, your points leader. And of course, it wouldn't be a fitting end to the season unless his chief rival was on his outside going into turn 1. And that tonight is going to be the Orion Racing driver of Mike Dam. Just 90 thousandths off of Caleb's time. That's going to be a fun battle to watch. Second row on the inside, Mike Dam's teammate, Travis Schwenke. Might need him tonight, Mike might. But the Orion Racing team strong in the front of this field there. Travis on the inside of row 2. He'll be lined up alongside another tough competitor here, Kernan Motorsports, Tony Kernan. On row 3 on the inside, Scott Ramler. We haven't seen much of him this season, but when we do, he's been quick. He's here up on row 3. He'll be lined up against Jeff Jacobs. On row 4, another D2D racing driver, Brendan Whitworth. He'll be lined up with a teammate, D2D Racing, Chris Thorman. On row 5 on the inside, Andre Saunders from Mohawk Racing, and he'll be lined up alongside another of our D2D racing drivers, Eric Violet. On row 6 on the inside, Jacob LeBrun from VTS Racing, and he'll be alongside our top qualifier here in the open category, Bobby Childs, another D2D racing driver. On row 7 on the inside, Bobby's chief rival there is going to be Scott Brooks in the Brooks Racing, and then alongside Scott on the outside of row 7, Russ Ruddock flying Tortoise Motorsports. On row 8 on the inside, Nick Parsono from NAP Motorsports. He'll be alongside Freedom Sport Racing's Mike Taylor. And then finally on row 9, we've got John Casey from 046 Racing.
All right, so Larry, I look back as the pace car now getting underway, and we're going to have another one of those rather short pace laps here at Imola as the pace car leading them down to Ravazza, down to the final corners here on course. And I look back to Sebring a couple of weeks ago, specifically at race number 2, where we had the top 3 drivers for race number 2 from our open category that they had finished 8th, 9th, and 10th in race number 1, and it really split up that open category field. This week here for race number 1, all of our open category cars are going to be starting outside of that transfer spot in 12th, so we're going to definitely want to watch that. As we've got the pace car now on the pit lane, we've got our pole sitter, Caleb Lavender. He has the field, the orange number 93 of Mike Dam right beside, and Lavender taking it very, very slow down the pit lane here, or down the front straight here, getting ready to take the green as they're going to come across that last little bend. And now Lavender gets on the throttle, and green flag is now in the air, and he's got a great jump there, Larry, over Dam, Schwenke, and Kernan as Dam moves over driver's right to set up for the first hairpin here, or probably for the first chicane, the Variante and Tamburello, and both Lavender and Dam open up about a 3-car length advantage now over Travis Schwenke. Oh, and going off coming out of Tamburello, that was Chris Thorman in the number 60 machine. And he's going to drop all the way to the back of the field here as everybody else seems to make it through successfully, coming through Tosa, coming through that hairpin at turn number 7. That is going to move Schwenke up to 3rd, Kernan to 4th, Scott Ramler sitting in 5th now, with Jeff Jacobs sitting in 6th. And if we look at the open category, it's still Childs, Brooks, Ruddock, and Parsono, your top 4.
Great start for Lavender there. Very strategic. He knows it's a super long run from the stripe all the way down into that first chicane at Tamburello's. He does not want to give anybody behind him a chance, so he really waited until the last possible second to take off there, able to hold that, and now it's going to be a battle between he and Dan. But I can tell you, this is not an easy track to pass on at all. These straightaways, except for the main front straightaway, is not very long. So if you don't make the pass at you get a good run off of the Ravazza and make that run all the way down to Tamburello. If you don't get the pass done there, you're probably going to be falling in line for the rest of this lap. It's a fast track. There's a lot of variety of corners, but only one that's really a good passing zone. That's all the way down to 1.
Yeah, and I was thinking that possibly, Larry, coming off of the Variante Alta into Ravazza, the double apex left-hander, pretty heavy braking going down the hill there. Might be possible to throw the car underneath if you're close enough, but still, even they are fairly high-speed corners. If
the driver who's leading at the position gets a bit of a stumble coming out of the Variante Alta, possibly then you will. The difficulty with the Ravazza is it's a downhill braking zone. It's a very long braking zone for that regard. You can't really, very difficult to outbrake somebody that thing because of its downhill nature. Not impossible, but we may see a couple tonight. But I think passes for the lead at the front of the packs, as we've got a good shot here of Kernan leading Rambler there. But anybody going into Ravazza is going to be tough to make that pass. You just want to come out of Ravazza with a good head of steam and see if you can maybe have a shot going into Tamburello.
All right, let's see. I think we just had Andre Saunders drop off track in the number 72 machine, and let's see. There is Saunders. He is now sitting in the pits. Maybe we'll be able to see exactly what happened to him. But this is, I think, the second outing in a row where Andre Saunders has had some not the greatest of luck in the first 2 laps or so. Here, as we're back on board right now with Scott Ramler in the white number 39 machine, and he's got Jeff Jacobs and Brandon Whitworth very close behind, and the 4th car in that lineup there, Bobby Childs. He's our open category leader, and he's managed to put Jacob LeBron between he and Scott Brooks. Brooks was our winner in race number 2 at Sebring. He's currently running 2nd here in the open category in the opening laps.
Yeah, quite a train back here. As who's that spinning out in front there?
Oh,
Brooks?
I believe. Yeah, I believe that was Brooks.
That was Scott Brooks, unfortunately for him, coming out of
And-
the second half of the Ravazza there.
And I think that might have been, was that John Casey that he impacted coming
It's
through
Casey
the
right
final
there.
Ravazza?
Yeah, Casey was kind of coming around him there, so I don't know if there was contact earlier, but for Brooks, that certainly was a loss of a lot of position as he was running up there, I believe, with Ruddock and Parsono.
Yeah, he was running second in class, and yeah, I guess first instance of the announcer's curse here tonight as he now drops back into fifth in the open category. As we take a look right now at in the gray number 88 machine, that's Bobby Childs. And Larry, I think you
so Bobby's got it right now, the perfect scenario. We're only, of course, 4 minutes into a 30-minute sprint, but for Bobby, sitting here in 9th overall, first in class, in a transfer spot that would, if the race were to end now again,
would put him on the front row.
Put him on the front row. And even more importantly, all the rest of the open class drivers are outside of the transfer.
That's right.
So he'd be getting that double. That's still, again, we've got 25 and a half minutes of the sprint to go. Things are going to change. But for Bobby right now, it's all falling into place. It's just a good shot of our overall leader now in the event there, Caleb Lavender. 1 second lead on Mike Dam.
All right, tell you what, Larry, looks like we've got queued up now that incident involving Andre Saunders. Let's take a quick look here and see exactly what happens as he runs into the grass there.
There's
and
a nice
I think
green, there's like an AstroTurf runoff there, or a green concrete, whatever that is, but it's grippy. And as soon as you go outside of that, you're on traditional grass. He found it, and unfortunately, he then found the inside wall.
And they found the inside there. Oof, unfortunate for Saunders as he now finds himself in that number 72 machine on the pit lane trying to get repairs. He's been there now for almost 3 minutes of this 30-minute race. All right, so we're back on board right now with our leader. That is Caleb Lavender in the 333 machine, and he's starting to open up a good little margin back to Mike Dam running in second. Again, they are currently 1 and 2 in the championship here.
And for Mike Dam, he comes in as the trailing in the points. He really needs to finish ahead of Caleb in both of these races. His best shot now maybe to just maybe save some tires and in the last couple of laps maybe make some moves up there. But Caleb Lavender not putting anything to chance here. He's just going to try and stretch this thing out and see if he can just hold on to this and win from pole here in race number 1. The trick will come. What can he do in race number 2? But for now, putting pressure on Mike to try and stay close. And you can watch that pace is pretty strong because they're pulling away from Schwenke, they're pulling away from Kernan, from Rambler, and everyone else behind. Lavender is really putting down a strong pace here in this early couple of minutes.
Yeah, and Larry, if we take a look at the way they allocate points here in this area, as Russ Ruddock spins from third in the open category. So that's going to move Parsono now up into second place, and you can see there the rest of the open category driving right by Russ Ruddock. Oof, as he continues to have issues getting that car righted.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's where it gets a little slippery coming out of Aqua Minerale. The pavement, it's kind of a downhill braking, then it makes this turn and quickly climbs uphill. And he got out there on the not so grippy part of the pavement there, that paved runoff. And
the camber changes right in the middle of it. It's a very, very difficult corner for any driver. So that's going to drop him, Russ Ruddock, now back into 6th position. He started 4th in category.
Chris Thorman now doing a little bit of bump drafting on Scott Brooks as they come out of Ravazza. I don't know if that was his intention, but definitely a little bump draft. You can see him now. I think Brooks is lifted to let him by. Nice of him to do that there. Probably didn't need to, but sure, Chris appreciates this. Chris now is going to get his sights down on Mike Taylor out in front of him, like we talked with in the opening.
Yeah,
now
Mike,
in position here. Third in
Mike
class.
currently sitting 12th overall, 2 out of the transfer spot, 3rd in class. And so, Larry, before we saw that incident where Ruddock went around, I was going to mention as far as the way points are allocated here, Mike Dam, he currently has 18 points to make up, or had 18 points coming into the night. Now we give 35 points to the winner, 32 to second place. Okay, so only a 3-point difference there. And so obviously Mike Dam is going to have to hope that he takes the win, and that Lavender finishes further back than second. Of course, Lavender also picked up points for leading a lap. He's also picked up points for being your pole sitter as well. So we can already now make it a 20-point gap between the two. So, Mike Dam's got to, I think, have a lot of things working for him here tonight going into race number 2.
The only thing that Dam may have working for him is that having a missed race, one of his drops is an absolute 0 in this one. So right now, coming in, he had an 8th place overall for a night counting toward his points. So he's hoping to replace that with a 1. But right now, of course, sitting here behind Caleb Lavender, that's not really helping his cause. But he's hoping to improve on that, whereas Lavender comes in with a good series of wins. He comes in basically a 4th place, the lowest thing in his tally right now. The rest are all first. So that's why it's going to be tough. And Dam really does need the wins, which means he also needs the bonus points for leading laps. And then right now, Lavender is collecting all those bonus points.
Oh, look at this. As we were just watching here, Scott Brooks, Mike Taylor, as well as Chris Thorman. Now, we had seen where Brooks had let Thorman by, or probably Taylor had let Thorman by last lap, and Thorman then works his way around Scott Brooks as well. And for a while there, it looked as though Taylor was going to be able to make a move on Scott Brooks, could not get it done, and so they now.
Something's happened up at the front here because these two were about 1.1 apart. Now Mike Dam is closest to half a second, and he is moving quickly. So I don't know if Lavender maybe had a slowdown somewhere. Maybe we'll see if we can get our guys to take a look for that. But certainly something has happened on this lap.
Yeah, and not only that, Larry, but a little bit further back, if you take a look, Travis Schwenke starting to close in on our 2 leaders as well. And whereas Travis Schwenke had been under attack the last time we looked from Tony Kernan, you can see that blue number 7 machine has got to be about 15 car lengths back from the 16 at this point, has really dropped off in that battle for 3rd. But you're right now, Mike Dam now only about 0.3 of a second back, and certainly within the draft.
Yeah, look at that lap there, 142.8 for Lavender last time by. I do suspect he may have either had an off track, maybe a little bit of a run with the grass, or potentially one of those famous slowdowns that forced him to slow down about 1 second or so and give up some of that. But he didn't give up the position, which is for him right now the critical piece, because if he gives that up and lets Mike Dam lead a lap, well, there's a bonus point that Mike Dam would like to get. But more importantly for Lavender, he's still in that front row seat there. He's holding Dam behind him and wants to keep that way for the next, we'll call it about 20 minutes and try and earn a victory here in race number 1.
That's right. We're now about 11 minutes into this first of 2 30-minute sprint races here from Imola for round number 7, the final round of the inaugural Lamborghini Trophy Series.
I love this track. I love this right here, the Aqua Minerale. The elevation changes. You come plummeting down the hill, double apex, got to hit the late apex on the second one, come back up the hill, steeply up to the very basically the highest point in the entire circuit. Great views, probably the whole town of Imola there. Again, this track is essentially right in the middle of the town here. But then they come right back down the hill, and then if we ever get a shot of Ravazza, you'll see how much downhill that really is here. So
downhill, and and again a great view of the town there, right over across the wall there.
And the town really is a part of this track. In fact, as we get shots that pan back, you'll see houses. They're not grandstands, these are houses in the infield and just over these walls. There's a little bit of a hillside with some seats on it, but you'll notice this is literally a village here in Italy, where people, the town, they're proud of their racetrack and the heritage and the history this place has.
And it's interesting, Larry, because we always talk about a lot of these historical, these old racetracks and how they have been altered, how their layouts have been altered for safety reasons. But in the history of Imola, a lot of the changes to the course actually took place due to changes in the local roads around the course, that they actually had to reconfigure the track, for example, up by Tosa, and I believe also by Piratella, primarily because of as this track opened in the 50s, and as more roads were constructed in the town, they started to impinge upon the track here.
Jacobs and Whitworth, they were battling earlier. Now they're both looks like they're slowed down. And then it looks like another car off in the corner there. I didn't see who that was.
It might have been Jeff Jacobs, I believe, that we're showing him now down back
Jacobs
in 12th.
Is the blue car.
Yeah,
but figure out if it was LeBrun or Eric Violet.
All right, well, let's take a look at the replay, Larry, and hopefully we can get things right here, as that is Jeff Jacobs going around and Whitworth.
There's some contact there, and that other car coming out. I was trying to figure who that was. That might be Bobby Childs going by late
I
there,
believe, yeah.
But that might have been. Not sure who that other driver was, but either way, definite contact there between those two. And otherwise, continuing on as we flash back to our leaders now. Lavender still leading Mike Dam, but Dam isn't going anywhere. In fact, he's picked up another 10th on him.
You know, and Larry, as all of that was happening, I'm starting to have a little concern for Bobby Childs. He's now sitting in 6th. He's starting to find himself, you know, closer to the rest of the open category folks. I might add that Nick Parson, who is currently running 2nd in the open category, he's now sitting in that transfer spot, sitting in 10th. If the race were to end now, he would be your pole sitter for race number 2 with Bobby Childs sitting in 5th. All right, so
critically to the open class standings though is Russ Ruddock. Is essentially right now at dead last of the open categories.
That's
sitting
right.
there in 6th in class. He is 16th overall, way out of a transfer spot. He comes in as your points leader. Mike Taylor came in 2nd in points. He's only 1 spot or 2 spots in front of Russ Ruddock. This is really playing right into Bobby Childs' hand, and for Nick Parson, opportunities real for him as well. As you remember, he didn't start the series until 3rd round, so he's the guy looking to get some drops in and get those zeros out of the way and start adding up some good points.
All right, so let's jump back here. And once again, Mike Dam, as you mentioned, closing up just a little bit, knocked about another 0.15 of a second off of Caleb Lavender's times on this very last lap. Margin now at about 0.4 of a second as they make the run down the hill.
A little squirrely under braking for Mike Dam, though. Yeah. There's that downhill braking zone into Rivas. It's so difficult to keep the car perfectly straight there. But,
yeah, you know, it reminds me a lot, obviously. You know, I always like to go and compare to some of the North American tracks that we all know so well. Kind of reminds me going down into turn 5 at Road America. Obviously, the run down to turn 5 much longer than you have here going down into the Rivazza. That's, I think, what makes turn 5 such a great overtaking opportunity when you run at Road America, and maybe a little bit more so than here at Imola. But you know, again, very similar. Fairly slow entry into the first Rivazza into turn 17.
It's a little bit actually like the turn 2 Laguna Seca. If you know how difficult that downhill braking zone to make that double apex turn
going into the Andretti hairpin,
Yeah, very difficult. Very similar in these two. But man, look how close he is. Just 0.3 back now. His signal's dropping a little bit. He's got a little bit of blinks there, but he got a good run out of that hairpin this time. Just nowhere to go with it. I love this corner though. Just kind of a harden the brakes, flick this thing. You can run wide there without any off tracks, and then he comes just booming down this hill into the Aqua Minerale, and then you're right back up the hill. Just the elevation changes around here are just amazing. He's definitely right on Caleb's tail.
Yeah, and you can see, Larry, he's making up a lot of it under braking. He does lose a little bit on exit of some of these corners. I think he's trying to scrub off so much speed, and he's staying on that center pedal so long. Well, I guess these cars don't have a center pedal, but so long that he just he doesn't get back to the throttle nearly as quickly as Lavender does. So, whatever he makes up pre-corner, he loses post, but, still a lot closer than he's been for the majority of this race.
Which makes me wonder if he's actually positioning himself to get a good run off of one of these corners, and he's just kind of waiting for the right opportunity because he thinks he can brake late, and Mike's a smart enough driver to not just give it all up under braking and then have no run out of the corner. I think he may just be getting limited at running out of the corners because he's got a lavender-colored lavender in front of him. But perhaps if he gets the opportunity, he might actually be able to hold a lead if he's able to get it.
Well, let's see here as we're over halfway, just about 12 minutes remaining here in our first 30-minute sprint race of the evening. We're watching Caleb Lavender, currently your points leader coming into the final round, and Mike Dam, who's currently running 2nd in the points in this as we come into this final round. And you can see here, Dam, he doesn't seem to carry the speed off the corners that Lavender does, but you can see Lavender using every last inch of the runoff and maybe a little bit more. But now
Lavender did not brake enough there, ran the corner a little bit wide. Mike Dam, another opportunity, but nowhere to go with it. This is the kind of corner you need a good run off of. Lavender gets a decent one. No room for Dam to make the pass, but he's definitely slipping and sliding a little bit. I'm wondering if Lavender used up a lot of his tires in those first couple of laps, and it doesn't have much left. Mike Dam now may have saved just enough for this stage of the race. He's right on his tail, 0.2 back. He's basically just waiting for opportunity. Not sure he can outbrake him going down at Rivazza. You can see how much downhill this is.
Yeah, it not only is it downhill, but once you start the downhill, it's really a very short run to turn in there. And interesting to note here that Travis Schwenke now almost 4.4 seconds back from our leaders just a few moments ago, seemingly 3-4 laps ago. He was maybe a second and a half, almost 2 seconds back. You saw there that last shot where he just kind of poked around in that green number 16 machine. And as this battle continues on, currently Bobby Childs leading our open category over Nick Parsono, and margin there, I believe, is somewhere around 10 seconds. And Parsono's got two pro category drivers sitting between he and Bobby Childs. Sitting third is Scott Brooks, with 2 pro category drivers between he and Parsono. So things have really opened up there in the open category, and you can see Parsono now pretty much all by himself. It's got quite a while to go, but let's jump back to that battle for the lead, Larry.
Yeah, just quick note there. Parsono does have a Chris Thorman coming up behind him, although that will not be for class position as Thorman's running in pro and Parsono's in open. That would, if he's able to get by, bump Parsono down to 10th right now, right at that transfer spot with Jeff Jacobs not far back. So this next 10 minutes for Parsono is going to be critical to not give up that time to Thorman and Jacobs and allow those guys to get by, because he wants to cling to that transfer spot.
That's right. And so Bobby Childs leading the pro category, currently sitting 6th. That would, when we invert the field, that would move him to 4th if we were to grid up for race number 2 right now. But we'll worry about that a little bit more in a few moments as we continue to follow this battle for the overall lead with Mike Dam. That Canadian internet's doesn't seem all that stable right now, where he's blinking in and out as we speak, but getting a great run out of the Ravazza was Caleb Lavender. Opens up a little bit more of a gap, but you can see there that, even with these Lamborghinis, the draft definitely plays a part there as they come out of the last Ravazza and make that long run down towards Tamburello. Dam is really able to close things up on Lavender.
Yeah, Dam still, like you said, he was able to get just enough of a run. Lavender had a good one, but that long front straight enough to get some draft to Mike Dam, but Mike Dam just can't seem to do anything with it. He's playing peekaboo back there with his internet connection, but he certainly isn't able to put anything together to make a pass and get on by. And like we talked about, getting a run out of Ravazza is critical. Maybe have a shot into Tamburello. The other would be at the top of the hill chicane to have a chance to get down at Ravazza, but that's really you're relying on Lavender perhaps making a less than optimal exit there. Or right through here. Again, Lavender, if he were to leave any room, it would give Mike Dam a chance to going into the Alta, but not this lap. It looks like Lavender's got just enough to hang on to it.
Yeah, and of course, anytime that you'd think that you'd have a run, they come over here and you end up with one of the chicanes, one of the 3 chicanes, or 2 chicanes, I guess, here at Imola, which breaks up the flow and basically takes away some of those passing opportunities, shortens up what used to be very long straightaways here at Imola, in order to slow the drivers down. But there you can see, even coming out of the second Ravazza, the 333 car gets a little bit better run. It looks like it gets the power down just a little bit better, Larry.
And the draft doesn't kick in until they get past start finish, and you can watch the lap time or the time delta there tick on down. So Mike Dam's able to gain about a 10th in the draft, only though from the start finish line. What he needs to do is he needs to come off of the Ravazza at 2.5 tenths back so he can start picking up that draft earlier.
Yes.
He's only going to get about 3, maybe 4 more shots at it. So he's really got to be really precise and nearly perfect on one of those to have a chance to make the pass.
Yeah, and you can see there, that was the great overhead shot that we had going down into Tamburello, into the first chicane there, where Dam closed up, maybe knocked off a car length to a car length and a half under braking, going into that 2-3 chicane at Tamburello. But again, the fact of the matter is that even with that, he's only able to get within maybe a car length to a car length and a half at any time here, where he would need to at least get the nose up to the quarter panel of Lavender in order to make things uncomfortable and maybe to force Lavender to adjust his line a little bit.
Yeah, I'm starting to think that Lavender's strongest point on this track is coming out of Ravazza. I just think you watch him, and although Mike Dam might have had a bit of a slip there as he's fallen about 6 tenths back, he had been hovering 3 tenths for the whole lap. until they come out of Ravazza, and then he would fall back a tenth or so. And right now, a little more than 0.6 is not where he wants to be going into this. Now with probably about maybe 4 laps to go, which means he only really has 3 chances to make the pass into Tamburello if that's where he's going to try and make it happen.
Yeah, and as you said, we're now just at about 6 minutes remaining here in race number 1, and you said it at about a minute 40, minute 41 a lap, probably about 4 laps remaining here. So as we go run down the order quickly here in the pro category, Caleb Lavender still your leader with Mike Dam running second. Travis Schwenke in the number 16 entry. There's Travis. He is currently running in third and all by his lonesome. He's got about 4 seconds up to Mike Dam ahead. He's got about 3.5 seconds back to Tony Kernan in fourth. And there's Tony in the blue number 7 running behind. Then we've got Scott Ramler, who is running in fifth. Bobby Childs, currently running 6th overall. He is your leader currently in the open category. And you'll see the 2 cars coming up behind him. They are both in the pro category. That's Jacob LeBrun and Eric Violet. Bobby Child actually then has one more pro category car, Chris Thorman, who had that early spin before you even get to Nick Parsono, who's running second in the open category. Parsono right now is in that last transfer spot. He is sitting in 10th, and so he's got to do everything that he can.
He just gave up that spot to Chris Thorman in the last lap or two. And right now, Parsono is peeking over his shoulders at that blue car back there. That's Jeff Jacobs, and that would be out of the transfer spot for Jacobs and in the spot. But Parsono's not going to leave it a chance. He wants to get that spot back from Thorman. I don't think he's got the run quite strong enough to get it done there.
No.
That's tough for him. He definitely wants to hold the transfer spot. Does not want to give this up to Jeff Jacobs.
Yeah, and you saw there as they came out of the Variante Alta, as Parsono was able to pull up right beside Chris Thorman, but if anything, that maybe allowed Jeff Jacobs to close things down a little bit, knock a couple tenths off. He's still just about 3 seconds back from that battle for 9th overall with Thorman and Parsono.
Yeah, one thing to note is it looks like Mike Dam may have had a bit of a slip up somewhere on that last lap as he's fallen about a second further back. So we'll get back to that in minutes. We got a good little one-on-one going on here with LeBrun trying to hold off Eric Violet. Violet has been quicker, and he's getting a decent run on this lap. We'll see if he can make this happen into Tamburello, but Violet may have had some issues earlier in the race, dropped him back a little bit. He may have been that other car that was involved or near that incident that we had seen there with Jeff Jacobs and Whitworth. But he's trying to make up some positions here to try and get around Jacob LeBrun, perhaps going into the Villeneuve chicane.
Yeah, and you saw there going into Tamburello that the LeBrun got very defensive. Came down almost center of the track going into that turn 2, turn 3 chicane, and we then saw
I've raced against Jacob LeBrun, and he can be defensive for sure.
Yes.
He knows where his one move is, and he knows how to position a car to ensure that he doesn't give up an easy pass. So he'll be a tough one there for Eric Violet. As we flashed over to Thorman and Parsono, and there is Jeff Jacobs trying to chase them down. And Jacobs is moving pretty quick.
He knocked a couple tenths off, now about 2.2 seconds back from that battle for 9th and 10th. As we jump back over to LeBrun and Violet, great little battle there. And it's not just a question of using that one move, but knowing how difficult things are, how difficult it is here to pass. If you're confident that you can get good exit speed through one of these complexes by setting up the car, even a half a car width off the edge of the track, and not give up too much, it's certainly worth it there.
There was a very famous Formula One race here about 15 years ago or so. Michael Schumacher and Fernando Alonso, a young Fernando Alonso, did an amazing job of holding back what everyone believed was a faster Michael Schumacher at that time. Michael was in his prime, of course, with the Ferrari, and Alonso was in that Renault. And I tell you, Alonso was so smart about car positioning that day. Anybody who wants to learn how to not illegally block, but legally hold position here at Imola, that's the race to watch. He was so precise about getting good, strong exits, and what he was doing was disrupting the apex speeds of Michael for the entire race. It was an amazing one to watch. And right now, LeBron's trying to match the Alonso efforts and try and do the same thing here to Eric Violet. Try and just hold Violet to pause him at apex and try and make sure that LeBron gets the fast exits to hold down the next straightaway. That's the key around a place like Imola.
Although you can see there as LeBrun gives up a little bit of ground coming out of Tosa, it got maybe a little deep under the brakes there. Took a little bit of extra effort to get the car rotated around, but again, Violet not in a good position to do anything about it as they come through Piratella through turn 9 and make that run down to the Aqua Minerale.
And Violet's just kind of sitting back looking for a spot, knows this isn't it, but if Violet wants to make it work, it's going to have to probably be the next time by down the front straightaway, as we are now entering the 29th minute.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, with 1 minute left to go, and we're back on board with Caleb Lavender. And you said it, Larry, a couple laps ago, had opened up a good advantage over Mike Dam. Dam now a little bit over a second back, definitely out of the slipstream, out of the draft here.
This could be a white flag lap. I'm not sure what time was on the clock when Lavender cross start finish as the leader, but it could be. So we'll have to keep an eye on that.
Yeah, I say, given where they are on track right now, Larry, I would suspect that it is the last lap. Let's take a look here as they're running and making the rundown. No, we've got about 30 seconds remaining, and I don't think the front straight is that short. We should be able to get one more lap out of this, I think.
Oh, they're just coming in Aqua Minerale now.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I thought they were going into the Ravazza. You're right. So this should be the last lap with only 10 seconds remaining on the clock.
To this battle here of LeBrun trying to hold off Violet, and this is really the last opportunities now. Violet was not able to get it done down the front straight as they are now into the Villeneuve chicane going into the Tosa hairpin. So Violet, this is where he's got to get aggressive. And at this point, he's either got to get the run out of Aqua Minerale or the run out of the Variante Alta into the Ravazza, because I'm not sure there's enough time out of Ravazza before start finish to make a pass. He's got 2 more chances as Lavender has led start to this point.
And here we go as they come out of the final corners now, coming up the straightaway here. Caleb Lavender, as you said, started on pole. He is going to take the win in race number 1. There it is, checkered flag in the air. Caleb Lavender in the 3:33 Lavender Racing entry. He is your winner. Mike Dam in the number 93 Orion Racing entry. That orange car, he's going to finish second. Travis Schwenke will bring home the Orion Racing number 16 Lamborghini in 3rd place. That is your podium, as we're on board right now with Bobby Childs, driver of the number 88 entry, and he is currently your leader. The D2D E-Racing car will take the win in the open category, but here we go. LeBrun and Violet, side-by-side drag race coming out of the Ravazza, and LeBrun, he is going to hold on to the position, and he's going to finish in 7th, comes right across the nose of Eric Violet. Violet will finish in 7th position in the pro category, 8th overall.
This is the transfer spot battle. Yep. Parsino and Jacobs, 10th and 11th.
And here we go as they come down the front straight here, and it looks like Nick Parsino, he is going to hold on to the 10th position overall. He's going to finish 2nd in the open category. That means he is going to start on pole for race number 2. Jeff Jacobs, driver of the number 38 machine, he finishes 9th in the pro category. He is going to start 11th for race number 2.
Just outside of where he wanted to be, unfortunately for him. But what a great race for the 2 gentlemen that were on pole in their respective classes to start the race. They ended up finishing there, Caleb Lavender and Bobby Childs. Great races for both of them, and for Bobby to move up and at this point have only Nick Parsino in the field in the top 10. That's going to be his rival. Parsino, though, is going to take the pole in the second race. So this is going to be fascinating for Bobby to try and catch Parsino in race number 2. And we'll see if Mike Dam can hold off Caleb Lavender in race number 2.
All right, so Larry, tell you what, why don't we take a quick little break, having watched a very exciting race number 1 here. We're going to take a break, going to thank some of our sponsors, and we'll come back for that second race where we invert the field, invert the top 10 from race number 1, and should make a very exciting final race of the season for the Lamborghini Trophy Series. So we'll be back here in just a few moments from Imola for the Extreme Motorsports Ricmotech Lambo Trophy Series, presented by Performance Texas Elite Graphics, Apex Racing Academy, and Extreme Scoring.
Ricmotech high-performance sim racing equipment. Whether you're just looking to have fun, train for race day, or become a serious esports competitor, Ricmotech has you covered. hundreds of name brand parts, support from experts that love sim racing, trusted by the pros. There's only one place to go, Ricmotech.com. Ricmotech, high-performance sim racing equipment. There's only one place to go, Ricmotech.com.
All right, I'm Greg Ginsburg along with Larry Lefty McLeod, and we are back for race number 2 of the Extreme Motorsports Ricmotech Lambo Trophy Series, round number 7. And Larry, real quick, before we get ready for race number 2, let's take a look at the results from race number 1. Quick recap here with Caleb Lavender taking the win in his D2D e-racing entry. Margin of victory, 65 hundredths of a second over the Orion Racing number 93 of Mike Dam. Dam's teammate Travis Schwenke takes the third step on the podium with Tony Kernan and Scott Ramler rounding out the top 5. In the open category, Bobby Childs, your winner, margin of victory over Nick Parsono. If I remember correctly, somewhere around, looks like around 15 seconds, give or take, as there were a number of pro category drivers between those two. Scott Brooks will finish on the last step of the podium with Mike Taylor, who we spoke to a little bit earlier before race number 1. Thanks again for joining us, Mike. He will finish 4th, and John Casey finishes 5th in the open category. But I think the big thing here, Larry, is we take a look and look at those top 10 drivers and go and flip them on their heads. Here, you know, Nick Parsono, he's going to start on pole, and that's going to give him a pretty decent advantage over Bobby Childs, who's going to start 4th. And then you take a look back from there, and Scott Brooks, he's going to find himself starting at 12th in the open category. In the pros, you know, it doesn't change things up all that much. We've got Chris Thorman, Eric Violet, and Jacob LeBron are going to be the top 3 drivers starting in the pro category. And you know, of course, Thorman had that unfortunate spin on the start of our first race. He actually came away with the race number 2 win at Sebring. So you know, again, very fast, and if he can hold things together, good opportunity there for race number 2.
Yeah, and I think for Parsono up at the pole, having come into the season kind of a late starter, he's really trying to rack up the points. So he's got that second place finish in his first race, and now he's in that prime position to maybe take a win here in race number 2. Great opportunity for him. And for Bobby Childs, I talked about him in the start, that here's a guy who maybe needed to kind of shake off some bad finishes. He's got a class win in race 1, needs another one here, so he'll be looking to try and chase down Parsono here, our pole sitter. But I think, and then you look back at the pro category, and it's going to be Mike Dam. Can he stay in front of Lavender and make his way through the field? He needs to do everything he can to win this second race. But having the folks in front of him, like Tony Kernan and Travis Schwenke and some of these guys, it's going to be tough for Dam or Lavender to take a win here in race 2.
All right, and you know, I don't think we mentioned it earlier, but you know, obviously when we look at that timing tower on the screen, we've got both the pro category drivers and the open category drivers separated. The pros have the black number positions to the left of their names. The opens have the red as we take a look at the starting order here, and you'll find the open category drivers. They got red mirrors on the cars, black mirrors for the pro category drivers. But let's take a look now, Larry, as we've got everybody lining up for race number 2, and we'll take the starting order with Nick Parsono in the number 79 NAP Motorsports entry. He's going to start on pole with Chris Thorman in the D2T e-racing entry, the number 60 machine. He's going to start on the outside of the front row. So an open category driver on pole, pro category driver to his To his right will be starting second. Eric Violet will start on the inside of row number 2 with Jacob LeBrun starting right next to him in 4th. Bobby Childs starting second in the open category. He'll be on the inside of row number 3 with Scott Ramler in the DTM Racing entry starting on the outside of row number 3 in 6th. Tony Kernan will start in 7th in the Kernan Motorsports entry with Travis Schwenke, our 3rd place finisher from race number 1. He will start in 8th with Mike Dam and Caleb Lavender. Our 1st and 2nd place finishers will start 9th and 10th on row number 5. Jeff Jacobs in the StreetSurvival.org entry will start in 11th with Scott Brooks in the number 94 machine. He will start in 12th position. In 12th position. Mike Taylor will start 13th with John Casey 14th. Russ Ruddick in the Flying Tortoise Motorsports number 95 machine. He will start 15th with Brandon Whitworth starting 16th. And then Andre Saunders, who had that unfortunate wreck to start the race off, he's going to start at the tail end of the field in the 72 machine as the pace car is on pit lane. And that means now with the field, we've got Eric Violet and Thorman. Is that correct?
That's what it says.
That is what
shouldn't be.
That's not what I think it should be. We should have seen Parsono sitting up there. I don't know what's going on, but we are seeing Violet now and Thorman on the front row.
Yeah.
Did Parsono not make the race? I'm showing him back in 17th position. I don't think Parsono made the grid, Larry, here as they head down into the first chicane. It is Violet making a move up the inside. Bobby Childs, a authoritative move there around Chris Thorman. Scott Rambler now sitting back in 4th and dropping back, and we've got a driver off. And that is that Jacob LeBrun, I believe, that just went off? Indeed, it was. So LeBrun in the number 12 machine. He drops back a number of positions now and falls all the way to the back of the field.
Yeah, well, this is where patience comes in. Oh, and Thorman's going to spin coming out of the hairpin.
Ooh, and that is the second race in a row where Thorman has spun early on, as he's going to try and get that car back underway, but he's now going to drop to the tail end of the field as Bobby Childs now is under pressure from Scott Rambler. They are currently running 2nd and 3rd as Eric Violet in the number 89 machine.
Casey spins.
Moves away, and it looked like
and Bobby Childs spun.
I was just going to say, as we cut away and we see another car driving off, just as we were cutting away to the yellow 78 of Casey, we saw the 80. We saw Childs have the rear end come away from him. So
wild start here. So the Nick Parsono story, I believe he had in iRacing terms, a packet loss, basically a server disconnect
got dropped
issue. Yeah. So that's really unfortunate for him. I feel awful for him because of coming into this race with chances to move up into maybe top 2 or 3 in the finishing positions. Getting a DNS here in race 2 is not going to help him, but for Bobby Childs, I was going to say, well, it's great for him. But Bobby, as we saw, had his spin. He's got work to do. Right now, it's Brooks and Taylor leading 1-2 in the open category, and Violet leading this race. And, I'm not going to bet against Violet to hold on to this for quite a while.
All right, so Larry, I think we've got a replay. The question is, what is it going to be a replay of? Because we've got a lot to look at here.
It's a whole lot of side-by-side. That's LeBrun.
Yeah, that's LeBrun going around.
Out of Tamburello before getting to the Villeneuve chicane. And it's just a lot of traffic in there side-by-side coming out of there. And unfortunately for LeBrun, he ends up with the spinner.
Yeah, although I'll tell you, he got that little tap at the end, and probably the best thing that could have happened for him is it put him around 360 and pointed him the right way down the road. I don't know if that's the way he's going to feel about it, but LeBrun now sitting back in 10th position, and he's got Bobby Childs, who was momentarily at the front of the open category, now running 3rd and running 13th overall. The number 88 machine behind.
That's Violet getting a little bit of a tap, I think, from Rambler, perhaps going through.
I believe
that's going to back everybody up.
Yeah, that was Scott Rambler in the white number 39 giving a tap to our leader, Eric Violet, as they come side by side now.
Yeah, and Rambler, I think, was trying to make sure he doesn't take the position since he had helped a little bit there to Violet. And all they did was just create a big traffic jam, as you can see behind them. That's Caleb Lavender. That's your race 1 winner, your race 1 pole sitter.
And you can see as he's moving left
to third.
As he's moving left to right, trying to figure out which driver he should pick, because Ramler may have figured that he wasn't going to give, was going to give the position back.
We're going to have all three of them going into Tamborella chicane at the same time here. You watch.
And you can see there, right in the mirror of Eric Violet, is the green number 16 of Travis Schwenke. He's in that battle as well, and he's got Mike Dam in it as well. So,
here it comes.
Oh, and Ramler's all the way to the inside. Is he going to be able to make it through as he set up all the way drivers left? Indeed, he does. So Violet running second, and then Caleb Lavender all over the back of Eric Violet. And for a moment there, it looked like Lavender was going to give Violet the chrome horn.
He was definitely had his hand over the horn, so to speak, there. But now he's going to try and take Violet on the outside of the hairpin, or maybe an up and under move. That's what looks like is happening. The bit of the up and under move is going to be the advantage.
Here it comes. As he'll have now position going in the Piratella. If he can stay alongside, there he goes, and he's going to try and outbrake, and then Schwenke's going to try and follow him along.
Schwenke's going to give it a shot, and he does. Dam's going to try and follow all three. Making ways past Violet, but that's not going to be easy. Violet holds his inside in front of Dam, and for Dam, he's watching Lavender just take off out in front of him.
Yeah, and Dam, he just ran out of room going down into Aqua Minerale there as the track moved back from a series of right-hand turn, probably a series of left-hand turns to a right-hand turn. He was just on the wrong side of the track there. But, looked for a moment there as those, when last lap, when Ramler got into the back of Caleb Lavender, that he was going to try and give the position back.
Violet, yeah.
And and they just Violet, as they just stayed nose to tail, or probably not nose to tail, but side by side for like 5 corners in a row.
He was doing the gentlemanly thing, saying, "Oops, sorry, my bad, didn't mean to tap into you here, take the spot back." But meanwhile, he had a whole run of fast pro class drivers behind him, saying, "Guys, both you get out of my way."
Yeah, just keep going, please. Get on the throttle.
Meanwhile, back in the front now, Lavender does get past Schwenke, and obviously got past Violet, and Mike Dam is still sitting back there trying to make his way past Violet. Now Lavender's trying to get past Ramler as they make their way down towards Villeneuve.
All right, let's take a look here at where I've got the word of Andre Saunders, and you can see he was coming down here into I guess the Aqua Minerale alongside, who was that? Was that Thorman that he was side by side with, I think?
No, I don't know if it was Thorman. I have to go back and check that.
I'm
not sure who that was. It's a blue car.
Yeah, and Thorman was in the orange. That's right.
Might have been Mike Taylor, as there's now incident under review between the 66 and 72.
Yeah, I think you're right. As Mike Taylor now in the 66 machine is off in the pits, I think you're right there. So Andre Saunders' bad night turns maybe a little bit worse, although he is still on track. Whereas he spent the majority of race number 1 in the pits.
Right.
As
back to the lead now. It is Ramler still holding Lavender. Schwenke trying to catch up between the two of them and not let Lavender get away. And then Mike Dam still cannot get past Eric Violet.
And we're starting to see now not only Mike Dam, but Jeff Jacobs and our open category leader, Scott Brooks, starting to get bottled up. And why don't we also add Brandon Whitworth into the conversation as well, all starting to get bottled up behind Eric Violet in that purple number 89 machine.
And I know Eric has shown some pretty good speed in some of the races here. He might be doing very well. I'm just surprised Mike Dam normally is able to get by this kind of traffic, but not able to in this case. Also not able to get by is Caleb Lavender, not able to this time get by Ramler.
Yeah, but Ramler gets a real bad entry and a worse exit coming out of the first chicane, coming out of Tamborello. And so side by side now with Ramler is Caleb Lavender in that gray number 333. They've been side by side now for about half the race, Larry.
Ramler willing to go side by side with Lavender, and good clean racing there, but Lavender is able to get the pass done. Now he just wants to put daylight between he and Mike Dam and solidify the Pro Class Championship for the season if he can pull off this win tonight.
All right, so there we go, is Caleb Lavender looking for win number 2 on the evening. He jumps back into the lead over Scott Ramler. Eric Violet managing to hold off Mike Dam. Violet currently running 3rd, Dam 4th, Schwenke 5th, Jeff Jacobs 6th, and then our open category leader is Scott Brooks. He's back in that second pack somewhere. There he is in that the white number 94. Yeah, we've got Brandon Whitworth now hanging all over the back. But, there we go. Mike Dam finally gets the pass done, gets around Eric Violet as they now come out of, where was that? Was that over at
Variante?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was able to get a better run at Aqua Minerale and up the hill there and then make that pass. Now he wants to get his sights set out in front of him on Rambler. That took him a long time to get past him.
Now we're only 8.5 minutes in. It's a 30-minute race. Still a lot of time. If he puts his head down, might be able to make it up. Now that last time by, even with Dam trying to push his way past Eric Violet, Dam was still almost a 1.5 seconds faster than Scott Rambler was. Of course, I think part of that was early on in the lap we had Lavender and Rambler side by side, but I think this will give us a little bit better.
That helped Mike Dam quite a bit there to have the battle of Rambler and Lavender going side by side through this very corner here. But for Dam is Violet now, as Mike Dam go by him, now he's got Schwenke seeing opportunity to get by.
Yeah, I was just gonna see here. Violet was definitely looking a little racy. Looked like he wanted to bring the fight back to Mike Dam, but difference is now Violet's got to look behind him here as Schwenke is starting to show him the headlights, showing him everything in every corner.
Violet's got a little bit of damage, I think, to the front end of that car, if I got that right there on the front. So he's definitely had some contact at some point. Like hurting him in the straight line speed. Is Schwenke also now getting a better run than Violet coming on Aqua Minerale, just like Dam did in the last lap. See if this is enough to make the pass. They're going to go side by side. It's going to be tight.
And Schwenke gathered that back up after he popped the curb, going into the chicane there, going into the Variante Alta, and got it squared back up. I was a little surprised there. It looked like the rear end was definitely coming around on him, Larry.
Yeah, he was able to. I'm shocked and impressed that he was able to hold it behind with no contact. But he really wants to, just like Mike Dam, this Orion Racing driver would like to get past Eric Violet as soon as he can.
And you may have just seen on the screen there, we've got the stewards taking a look at an incident between Brandon Whitworth and Scott Brooks. Whitworth in the number 42 machine, Brooks in the number 94. And Brooks currently running second to Bobby Childs in the open category. So Bobby Childs has made his way back around to the front of the open category. I think that kind of snuck by us as he got around Brooks.
Yeah, it's over Bobby. This is right what he needs. He needs another one of these wins here in the open categories. We're going to catch a little replay, I think, of Scott Brooks.
Yeah, this would be the Brooks on Whitworth, I think, here. Let's take a look.
As that is a little bit of help from behind going into
it looks like Whitworth got right into the, and now we know how Bobby Childs retook the lead in the open category. As looks like Scott Brooks got a lot of help from the 42 of Brandon Whitworth.
Yeah, that's unfortunate, but we'll see what the stewards have to say about that as we've got this view and this battle still going on. Or Schwenke still trying to get around Eric Violet, and this again looks like Violet's struggling coming to Aqua Minerale.
Yes.
But I don't know if it's enough of a struggle this time to give Schwenke an opportunity to make the pass. Schwenke might be better suited to just hold back and see if he can force a mistake out of Violet coming out of this turn.
And Larry, I'm wondering if it's a question of him getting a bad run out of Aqua Minerale. But I noticed this also when Mike Dam was putting pressure on him, is that as he comes out, he really tries to stick the car all the way driver's left coming out of the second portion of that little chicane at Aqua Minerale, so that he's all the way already over driver's left when he comes down to the Variante Alta, and and can already be a little bit defensive, whereas the traditional exit for that turn 13 is a little bit more driver's right. But we take a look now coming down the front straight, going into the first chicane.
He's got a chance on that inside, but that door closes quickly for Violet. Not enough, though. Let's see him pop that sausage curb. That's what we talked about at the start of the race. That just cost Violet the position.
There you go. And so Travis Schwenke now, he takes over fourth position, getting around Eric Violet. Violet now dropping back into fifth overall, and right behind Violet now is Jeff Jacobs in the number 38 machine. He's closing down on the back of that purple number 89 machine as well. But that has also now really impacted Schwenke's ability to get up into that battle for a podium, as he now has dropped back, I believe, somewhere around along the lines of about 4.5 seconds to Mike Dam.
We had a good shot here of Ruddock and Casey going side by side. Casey yielding to Ruddock this time.
Yeah, Casey gave Ruddock a lot of ground through the chicane there, and Ruddock now takes over third spot in the open category, moving John Casey in that yellow 79 as Casey runs off briefly there, now sitting in fourth in the open.
We'll see if Jeff Jacobs can make a run on Violet, or Violet's able to kind of settle down now that he's had the Orion boys make their way by him. This is Rambler now has given up time. It's Mike Dam now on his tail, and Mike Dam does not want to waste any time getting by Rambler. Rambler's got speed. It's going to be a tough pass for Mike.
Yeah, and we've seen not only does Rambler have speed, but he has very good positioning coming down into the first chicane. Managed to hold Caleb Lavender off for a number of laps there, and you can see as Mike Dam closes right up to the rear wing of that white number 39 machine. He's going to hold him off at least for another corner or so, and we'll see if Dam has a little bit more of an advantage. Of course, again, he made up a lot of ground. Matter of fact, Mike Dam now with the fastest lap of the race at a 1:41.19, ran that the last time by. We'll see here if Dam can make quick work of the number 39 machine, as our leader Caleb Lavender now almost 3.4 seconds up the road.
And this is, like I said, this is where Mike Dam doesn't want to lose any more of that, because, you know, even 15 minutes to gain 3 seconds is not going to be easy. But if this falls to 5 or 6 seconds, I think it's going to be game over for Mike Dam. He really needs to get by Rambler in one clean pass.
Yeah, and of course we saw in race one the trouble that Mike Dam had affecting a pass on Caleb Lavender. He spent more or less the entire race right on his rear bumper, but was never able to get the car quite close enough to make a pass. Now he's going to have to make up a number of seconds just to get up to Lavender here, as we are now halfway in our second and final race, not only of the evening, but final race of season 1 here in the Lamborghini Trophy Series. As we still sit on board here with Mike Dam following Scott Rambler.
This might be a chance here, as he's in his draft. Longest straightaway in the track. We'll see if he can get alongside Rambler going into Tamburello. If he can't, but he tries, it's going to be a whole lot of time loss for Dam. He needs to make the pass clean.
Yeah, and you can see, Larry, much like in race 1, he's able to get right up to the back, to the bumper of the car ahead, but he doesn't seem to get a good jump out of the final corners, out of the Ravazzas turn 17 and 18, and I think that kind of hurts him as he jumps onto the front straight, sometimes 3 car lengths back from the car ahead.
And that's really what's hurt him a lot, is he is quick in the rest of this track, but I think in that one spot, as it looks like he may have an opportunity here.
Well, there we go.
Dam has made that pass.
There he goes, and he makes the pass. So move Mike Dam now up into second.
Yep, as they come down the hill to Acqua Minerale, and now, though he is 4.4 seconds back, it's no guarantee except that Rambler. I was going to say no guarantee he stays ahead of Rambler. Rambler just kind of took himself out. Now Scott's going to have Schwenke go by him, and potentially Violet and Jacobs just go by him as well. And
that is exactly what happens, is drop Scott Rambler down from 3rd down into 6th position. And we'll see here if Bobby Childs, who I think is in pretty close proximity, if he now makes his way up ahead. Bobby Childs currently sitting in the lead of our open category, and Scott Brooks, who had been behind Childs after that bump that he had taken. Brooks is still running in second, but he's got both Jacob O'Brien and Chris Thorman separating he and our leader in the open category, Bobby Childs.
Yeah, Bobby, things are definitely going his way tonight. I cannot wait to see how the points add up, if he's able to hold on to this position. He definitely was able to overcome a tough spin here on the first lap of the second race, and to get himself back into the first position. But Bobby doing everything he can to try and win this open class here for the season. So we had a good shot here of Jeff Jacobs and Eric Violet. Jacobs, a couple times we flashed to this, has had his car alongside Violet, but not enough to get on by. Violet's proving to be a A little bit of as we always talk in other races and series about Jeff Jacobs' difficulty to get around him. Jeff's now getting a little taste of his own medicine behind Violet.
Yeah, we'll just follow these two drivers for just a moment here. As
on board, you can see it's blind. Everything's blind. The sunset over there, and then I love this corner. You got to get a lot of that apex curve. You can run it here without any penalty. Just so much fun. Then it can plummeting down these hills. And again, you can't see the exit Aqua Minerale until you're already on the brakes. Oof. You better not mess up and hit the sausage curves or run too far left. You'll catch that penalty. I just think this place has just a fun rhythm to it.
Yeah, and you'll notice here as the cars all have their lights on. Start time for race number 1 was, I believe, 4 p.m. So starting to get very late in the afternoon here at Imola. You can see much darker now than it had been when we started the very first race. Starting to get into dusk. Probably not going to affect the drivers all that much here on course, as we've got just about 12 minutes, actually about 11 minutes remaining here in our final race, as we're watching Violet, Jacobs, Rambler. This is the battle now for 4th in the open category.
And I would not be surprised if Rambler is on the heels of Jeff Jacobs here in another lap or so, as he just picked up a full second on the battle of Violet and Jacobs. He's quick.
Yeah, he's been very quick here all evening long. He was very quick when he ran with us early on in the season as well.
Yeah, I hope he comes back and runs some more of the Ricmotech series. I think he's definitely, hopefully enjoying himself. Every driver we always talk to say they enjoy it. And you see a guy with this kind of speed, it's great to see in the league come in here. And he's got a lot of talent, can always use more. You can see the lap times there for Rambler. Dabbling in the high 141s, low 42s, pretty much, except of course for the one lap there with the off. But other than that, pretty quick pace, and it gives you a comparison here is Lavender and Mike Dam, who may have just had an issue.
And there you go, Mike Dam now dropping all the way down to 6th position. So he was starting to make his way through traffic, but had a number of seconds to get up to our leader, Caleb Lavender. But appears as though he has had an issue. I don't know if that was an off track, possibly, Larry, or if he went around.
I'm sure our guys, the truck will get us a replay in a minute. But yeah, I suspect going from 5 or so seconds back behind Lavender to now about at 17. Let's catch this replay and see what happened.
All right, as he makes his way down. Oh, yeah, and just puts the car off, coming out of Piratella there and off into the gravel trap. An unforced error there for Mike Dam.
There's some good speed you want to carry through there, but that looked like about 2 miles an hour, too much of it. And that got him out into that spin. And unfortunately for Mike, moves him from 2nd all the way down to 6th in the pro category right now with just about 10 minutes to go.
All right, as we jump back to the battle for 3rd right now on the now it is the battle for 3rd. It's for the last step on the podium now that Mike Dam has had that off. So Eric Violet in the purple number 89 machine, Jeff Jacobs in the blue 38, Scott Rambler, who had been running 2nd early on in this race and actually for a while had been leading this race. He is sitting back in 5th right now, 3rd car in that line. And then you can see Mike Dam, he's starting to close up as well.
That orange car, Mike Dam, is right there. Great shot here of the overhead from the blimp. You can see there as Mike Dam had the mistake, but he can see that a podium isn't completely out of reach. He's just got 3 cars in front of him to do it. And one of those is Eric Violet, that he's already had difficulty passing once in this race. Now he has to do it again if he wants to finish 3rd. This is going to be a fun finish.
He's already had to get around 2 of them. He's gotten around Violet and he's gotten around Rambler, and wasn't an easy task for either one of those drivers. Maybe the wild card is Jeff Jacobs sitting there in the middle, who I think we've said
one of the hardest to pass.
Yes, exactly. He might be the most difficult of the 3. And we can see there as Jacobs takes all the curbing going into the chicane there, and that Lamborghini, that bull, went flying through the air as they run down the hill now into the Ravazzas, and you see Rambler now right on the back of Jeff Jacobs.
Well, that's Jacobs there. We're on board with looking up ahead at Violet, as they're all like that at this point. And Rambler has a run on Jacobs, and Mike Dam is just saying, guys, don't take my draft away. Rambler might have a chance to go into Tamburello here on this lap for Jeff to get by Jeff Jacobs.
And here we go. And just what Mike Dam would want to see is two cars side by side, but Rambler gets the pass done early before they get down into the chicane at Tamburello. And so now move Rambler up into 4th, move Jacobs in the 38 machine down into 5th, pardon me, and Mike Dam sitting in 6th. He's the 4th car in that line.
We'll see how long Jeff Jacobs tries to hold off Mike Dam. My guess is as long as Jacobs feels he gets a good clean exit, he's going to hold that position. But if he feels like he slips, he'll be the gentleman and let things go. But I don't think he's making that mistake quite yet, as now you look in front of them, Rambler is looking all over the back of Violet. And this is the corner here where Mike Dam had his struggles before. It's a little slippery, and it could be the temperatures are dropping as the evening goes on as well.
Yeah, I say as the sun is going down, I would suspect that we'd see both the ambient and track temperatures both drop. Yeah. And a little wiggle there coming out, from the 89 machine as they jump through the Variante Alta and start to make their run down the hill.
Mike Dam, a little bit of slip, didn't quite get on that second apex of that chicane. Lost a little bit of ground there to Jeff Jacobs. You can see the gap now a little longer there between the 3rd and 4th car in the shot. Rambler, though, all over the back of Violet right now.
And this is where Rambler has been very strong, Larry. Coming out of here onto the front straight, he always seems to get a good run. But
got by Jacobs at 4. See if he get by Violet this time. He's definitely in the draft.
And he's tucked up right behind, not that far behind. And there you go as he pops out to the inside. Drivers left as they make their way down to Tamburello, and they go in side by side.
And that curbing is going to make him slow down a little bit for Violet. Rambler backs out. Jacobs does not. And now we've got 2x2 all the way down to the Villeneuve chicane.
Oh, and there you go. Oh, as Rambler tucks back in to go into Villeneuve there, and gets just barely ahead of Jeff Jacobs.
And Mike Dam still doing everything he can to get by Jacobs. This might be enough. Now he's on the outside of the track. A little bit of draft from Rambler.
Yeah, and it looks like he gets it done. There you go. As Jacobs held that car to the inside, just did not get a good enough run out of the corner. But that also drops Mike Dam just a little bit further back. I suspect that as Violet and Rambler continue this battle, that Dam's going to be able to get right back up into it. And there he goes. It takes all of 2 corners, and he's right on the back of Rambler. So Rambler now has to not only look forward and try to figure out exactly where he can get by Eric Violet, but he's got to look back behind and see what Mike Dam is doing as well. He's got to protect his 6.
You know who's not far behind this battle is Bobby Childs. I just saw him flash at the back of this train. He's got a good view of this foursome out in front of him.
All right, Larry, and we've got now just a little bit over 4 minutes remaining in this 30-minute sprint race. So what what are we looking at? About 3 laps,
depending
maybe?
on where Lavender is. It's either 2 or 3 laps. Because Lavender is about 12 seconds or so in front of this battle.
Oh, and here we go. Rambler now. And contact between Rambler and Violet as they go down the front straight and head into Tamburello. More contact.
And it looked like Rambler maybe didn't quite expect to catch Violet that drastically and waited for the last second to pop out, causing the contact down the straightaway. Luckily, neither one of them loses it and ends up in a wall, but that does allow Mike Dam to get past Eric Violet. So now it's 3rd Rambler, 4th Dam. That was crazy.
Yeah, that was and great car control there from Eric Violet in the number 89 machine after both of those bumps, and as they were going through Tamburello, saw the rear end of the 89 machine really step out there for a second, and not only was it good to see that he was able to hold on to it, but to see Mike Dam have the confidence to push that car in there, knowing that he might have the 89 spin right into him was pretty ballsy there.
It really is. Yeah, that does take a lot of guts to say, well, that car's a little loose. I'm going to go in there.
All right, Larry, let's take another quick look at that and see exactly what happened in this battle between Violet, Rambler, and Dam.
Rambler's alongside. I would have been a little bit of a side draft, kind of pulled him in.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, is the
Didn't
track...
look anything intentional. That was a little bit of spatial situation.
Yeah, I think that's just a question of maybe not knowing where the side of the car is there, Larry, and
but
praying you got the room.
Everything's cleared all up. I haven't seen the stewards looking at anything, so they must be let them play. As there's our leader, Caleb Lavender. What a race for him. We haven't talked about it much. To win the first one flag to flag, start the second race in 10th, and now he's back into the lead with it looks like about a lap and a half to go. He's just been dominant tonight.
Yeah, and I think that's Scott Brooks, who's running second in the open category. Back behind him as Lavender's making his way, cutting his way through the rest of the field here.
And Schwenke, great solid night for him. Had that podium in the first race, and now he's got himself sitting here in the second spot, second race. Made his way through all the field except for Lavender's. That's pretty solid there for Schwenke. As here's this Whitworth and Brooks battle resuming.
Yeah, isn't this where we last saw them?
Yes.
Whitworth now trying to go alongside of Scott Brooks instead of right behind Scott Brooks going down into the first chicane. And as they go side by side, there you go, Whitworth. It looks like he's going to take over the position now. This is not a battle in class. Whitworth sitting in 9th in the pro category. Scott Brooks still running second in the open, but I'm sure Brooks must be thinking what could have been, as he was at the time leading when he and Whitworth first got together.
Yeah, and in fact, so Whitworth did serve a penalty for that, did do a drive-through, so shows the speed that Whitworth has to be able to recover and to get back to that spot. But as you say, rough go there for Brooks on that one. As we start what looks like
the white flag lap
out for Caleb Lavender one more time around this beautiful Italian circuit to win race number 2 and put himself unofficially, as we're waiting for, of course, the points update. We'll see if Lavender clinches that championship. But look at that lap time he just laid down. As the white waves out, he's got no reason to push it. We're talking about how he's lapping the field. He just did a 140.9.
Just ran 0.8 faster than anybody else on course. Here on the last, on what was the penultimate lap, as we go back to this battle now for this is the battle for the last step on the podium, with Mike Dam in the orange 93 right behind Scott Rambler in the white number 39. And for the moment, Rambler seems to have been successful at holding off Mike Dam. Dam had been a little bit closer last time we checked in, but Rambler now has opened up about a car length and a half advantage over the 93 machine, as things are starting to wind down here for him.
Remember earlier in the race, Dam was able to get by Rambler, and then Rambler was right on the heels going into this next section here, down to the Aqua Minerale, where he had his spin on the heels of Dam. So I'm sure if you're Rambler, you're thinking about that every time you go in there to say, no, wait a second, I managed to luck out and get this spot back. I don't want to screw it up the same spot 2 times in the same race. So for Rambler, he's got to get around this place 1.5 times, but does not want to give it up in that same place, as this is the last stretch run now for Caleb Lavender.
There you go. Caleb Lavender comes out of the Ravazza, comes out of the final corner onto the front straight. And for the second race of the evening, he is going to take the win. 2 wins tonight from Caleb Lavender. And with that, he is also going to wrap up the championship in the pro category.
The only thing we know is he's going to win that championship, and locking that down tonight. Great wins for Caleb Lavender.
I don't know much, but that I know. And so finishing second will be Travis Schwenke in the number 16 Orion Racing entry. Scott Rambler will finish in third here tonight in race number 2. Finishing fourth will be Mike Dam. Eric Violet will finish in 5th. And then if we take a look at coming home with the win in the open category is Bobby Childs. He's already crossed the stripe, but there he is, driver of the number 88 machine, finishing second in the open category. We suspect it will be Scott Brooks, and look at that. Scott Brooks no longer has a Brandon Whitworth near him. I think Whitworth has already crossed the stripe. He just let him go, and Scott Brooks will come home in second in the open category in race number 2. John Casey, great run for John tonight. He's going to finish in third as he comes through the final corners now. As he now comes onto the front straight.
Sure.
There you go, John Casey in the 046 number 78 machine. He will come across the stripe. He will take the last step on the podium in the open category.
Where is Russ Ruddick, who came into tonight in the points lead? There he is in the green car. He was in the lead in the open category. as much as we know about the pro category results, about Caleb Lavender winning that, we have no idea who's going to win this open class.
Well, Larry, if we go and stall for time here, I'll bet you we'll have everything updated by the time
Ford and the guys are doing the math right now.
That's better them than me.
We know that for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So tell you what, there we go. Caleb Lavender, he takes the win in race number 2. Travis Schwenke second. Scott Ramler third. That is your pro category podium. Your open category podium. Bobby Child, Scott Brooks, John Casey finishing 1, 2, and 3. And with that, we finish our second race of the evening and our final race of this inaugural season of the Lamborghini Trophy Series. But Larry, before we start to bring in some of our winners into the commentary box and get their thoughts on the evening, let's take a final break here this evening. Thank some of our great sponsors, and we will be right back for our interviews. You have been watching round number 7 of the Extreme Motorsports Ricmotech Lambo Trophy Series from Imola, and we'll be right back.
Ricmotech high-performance sim racing equipment. Whether you're just looking to have fun, train for race day, or become a serious esports competitor, Ricmotech has you covered. Hundreds of name brand parts. Support from experts that love sim racing. Trusted by the pros. There's only one place to go, Ricmotech.com. Ricmotech high-performance sim racing equipment. There's only one place to go, Ricmotech.com.
And welcome back to Imola, where we've just witnessed the final round of the Extreme Motorsports Ricmotech Lambo Trophy Series series number 1. And I'm Greg Ginsburg, along with lefty Larry McLeod. And again, just recapping our finish from race number 2. Caleb Lavender, Travis Schwenke, Scott Ramler, your top 3 in the pro category. Bobby Child, Scott Brooks, and John Casey, your top 3 in the open category. And Larry, tell you what, we've got some folks waiting for us here in the green room. Why don't we start off, now that we know and we've seen the final points in each one of our categories, why don't we bring in Bobby Childs, who not only took the win in race number 2, but he comes home second in the open category for season number 1.
All right, we are here with Bobby Childs. And Bobby, what a run for you tonight. Great win in the first race, but that second race started off a bit rough for you. Talk me through your second race.
Well, I just ran out of talent there. Cold tires and a goofy car does not a good combination make. And I just got a little too sideways heading through that double right-hander there, heading to the second right, and she just kind of cattywampused off. She did the hospital wobble off onto the grass.
Yeah, well, you managed to recover. You got going again, and suddenly we're watching the standings, and everybody else. It's like the seas just parted for you. Next thing you know, you're back up into the position in the lead in that class. And what did you realize that there was an issue? I think Brooks was leading for a minute, and some other folks had been around there. Did you see them spin and say, "Hey, I got my opportunity. Let's just hang on to this"?
No. I actually just had my head down. I knew that I had to go beat those guys. I thought, Nick Parsono was supposed to start on the pole there, and for some reason he blinked out, and I already was just, I knew my teammates were around me. They were going to go for that pro win. They needed to get around me and Nick both, and I told them, like, I want to let you guys by, but I got to get Nick. So, I just had to do what I had to do, regardless of whether anybody spun. I think you could see out there, even down to the last laps where I was trying to catch Jeff Jacobs. I had it, I was getting everything I could out of that car every lap, regardless of what anyone else did.
Yeah, rough go there for Parsono, unfortunately, but for you, gives you opportunities there to take the sweep tonight in the class and get wins in both. And we're looking at the updated standings here. It looks like you're going to end up second overall in the open class. You give it a pretty good run there, but Russ Ruddock looks like he's going to take the championship.
Yeah, but Larry, I was going to say, Bobby came into the evening running in third place in the standings, and he beats out Mike Taylor by 2 points based on that win in race number 2.
Yeah, well, I mean, congratulations to Russ on winning the championship. It has been a very checkers or wreckers season for me. So it is, 100% Ricky Bobby here. If you ain't first, you're last, and that's the way my whole season was.
And you're not wrong on that. As we look across a whole lot of ones, but then a couple of 6th places there, whereas Russ did a great job as Mr. Consistency. A little bit of a rough night for him tonight, but Russ did a real good job. We're going to try and talk to him a little bit later. But for you, Bobby, a great night for you, dominating here in class at this great, fantastic track. And what more can you say, Bobby? This has been a pretty good season, huh?
Oh, yeah, it's been fun. This is just a reminder, the viewers watching at home, this is a fixed setup series with the setups provided us by Apex Racing Academy. This is not a try-hard series. You don't have to come out here and practice 18 hours a week. You don't have to worry about fine-tuning everything. Come in, join the series, come in, jump in the car, have some fun. Everybody's on an even footing. That's what we want this series to be, and it has been an amazing first season.
It absolutely has been a lot of fun to call, and I'm looking forward. Hopefully, we do these kind of things again. This fixed setup of these GT3 cars has been a lot of fun. Great racing up and down the open category, the pro category, wherever you're at. It's been good racing. So, Bobby, congrats on the second overall, the couple of wins tonight, and as always, you're welcome to come talk to us anytime.
Oh, awesome. Thanks, guys. Real quick, can I send a shout out or two?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, so real quick to the team, the whole team, D2D Esports. I wouldn't be, even at my modest pace, I wouldn't have it without those guys: Andrew List, Chris Thorman, Brandon Whitworth, Eric Violet, Caleb Lavender, David Payton, who we missed so much. We hope we see him back on track soon. To Chris at Skull Sim Gear for coming on board to sponsor us in the Ricmotech World Challenge and our other endeavors. And a huge shout out to our race official, Ryan Cobb, and his spoon, and he knows what he can do with it.
All right, Bobby. Thank you so much.
Was that a silver spoon, Bobby, or
that's
I'm just not even going there.
I don't think you want to go there.
Greg,
let's leave it there.
All right, sounds good.
This Bobby we're talking about.
There's
we can
certain
let those
things
hang.
I just don't need to know. I
don't need to know. Ryan needs to know.
Thanks, Bobby.
Oh my gosh. All right, there you go. Bobby Childs, driver the number 88 D2D E-Racing machine, finishing the championship in second in the open category. All right, so Larry, tell you what, why don't we go now to our winner in the open category after this incredible first season of the Lamborghini Trophy Series, driving the number 95, Flying Tortoise Motorsports Lamborghini, Russ Ruddock.
We are joined by Russ Ruddock, and Russ, not the night you wanted probably in trying to win the championship and worrying about what the points are going to be, but your consistency this season is going to be rewarded with a championship win there in the open class. So congratulations on that, Russ.
Thank you. Yeah, this was not the way I usually run this track. I don't know. Just some weird things happen.
Yeah, just a bit of a rough. It just things just kind of got off on the wrong foot and just kept going bad for you tonight. Are you worried about watching what Bobby's over there doing and catching wins and saying, "Did this all just go away on me?"
No, I thought it was pretty good because Bobby had 2 DNSs, so I didn't
Mhm.
think there was any way he was going to catch me. I ought to thank him though, because if he didn't have that last DNS, he probably would have taken the championship. 'Cause he
Well,
was definitely faster this season than I was.
we just talked to him, and he admitted he's a bit of a. He says he was either checkers or records for him. But you, on the other hand, I'm looking across, and it was just a whole lot of right there on the podium, second places. You got a win a couple weeks back at VIR, so you've been right there every week, and didn't really need much tonight for you to take this victory. So what does it mean to be the championship in the Lambo Trophy Series?
Well, it's kind of good for a change. I mean, I'm getting older, so I don't run as well as I used to, and don't have as much time with all the scoring software. Don't have much time to practice much anymore. So it's kind of nice moving back to AM and being able to run with guys that are similar paced. Been a fun season, being able to battle guys and not just be running around in the back all the time.
Yeah, it definitely looked like a lot of fun. I think, my opinion, watching this is a lot of fun to watch because of the inverted second race starts. Kind of adds a mix to it. But I think you're right about the two categories as well. Those drivers that are, the 8K I ratings, let them go play in pro. And for the rest of us humans, we can we have races too,
Yeah, yeah.
for sure. So with the championship here in the inaugural Lambo Trophy Series, anybody you want to thank for helping you get here?
Uh, yeah, I mean, Kevin's helped a lot, and of course, the guys I run with. I mean, obviously the league, everybody helps, and of course, you guys with the broadcast, you do a great job.
I appreciate that. But yeah, this league has been fantastic, and it's been a lot of great, stellar driving, yours included, taking home the victory in the inaugural season of the Lamby Trophy Series. So congratulations, Russ, and go and enjoy a little bit of bubbly and savor this one.
All right, thanks.
All right, there you go. Russ Ruddock, your season 1 champion, driver of the number 95 Flying Tortoise Motorsports Lamborghini. Congratulations, Russ. Margin 15 points in the championship over Bobby Child, who we spoke to just a few moments ago. So, Larry, let's move now over to the pro category. And first, we're going to bring in Mike Dam, driver of the number 93 Orion Racing Lamborghini. He was our second place finisher in the season 1 championship.
All right, we're joined here with Mike Dam. And Mike, you came into this race sitting there in second spot, probably needing a couple of wins, but you gave it a heck of a run in that first race. But walk me through how the ups and downs went of race number 2.
Yeah. Race 1 went pretty well. Felt like I did all I could. Caleb didn't make any mistakes, so it was incredibly difficult to pass him. But yeah, it was good first race. The second race, I felt like my column didn't quite start quick enough in front of me, so I was a little disadvantaged there. And then, it was just a struggle getting through all the traffic here. It's pretty tight. I don't know, I felt like I did my best, but Caleb just zinged through the traffic.
Yeah, he really did. Yeah.
But by the time I got through, it was something like 4 seconds, and it was like, wow, I don't know if I have enough time.
But you had the battle there for a while there with Eric Pilot. Really was a tough pass to get around. You finally got around him, get around Rambler, and then all of a sudden you find yourself back at the pack, back behind them, chasing that field again and again behind Rambler. Were you looking at that saying, let me see if I can get to a podium in this race? And I've got 3 other guys to get by. I mean, it looked like a pretty intense last 10 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, that moment when I got back up in the second place, it was kind of, I knew where I was in the championship. It was kind of all or nothing, so I just kind of went for it. Took some risks, and I kind of had a little spin there. At that point, I kind of resigned myself. I was like, okay, I'm not gonna go too crazy. I don't want to ruin anybody's race here. I know I knew where I sat, so fortunately I got a couple positions back, and so that helps a little bit. But yeah, it's good job to Caleb. He's gonna win the championship, so he was solid all season.
Yeah, for sure. And it's you really can't say enough about what Caleb was able to do and coming in tonight and kind of putting that stamp on it as it was. But for you, a decent, solid night for you, a second overall in the championship, and can't feel too bad about that. Not in this series.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a good battle.
Yeah, for sure. So, all right, well, good job tonight, and congrats on the second overall in the series. And we're definitely looking forward to seeing you how this plays out next season.
All right, thanks very much, guys.
Thanks, Mike.
All right, there you go. Mike Dam, driver the number 93 Orion Racing entry. Now let's move over to our Season 1 champion in the pro category and tonight's double winner here from Imola, Caleb Lavender, driver the number 333 entry.
All right, Caleb, well, congratulations on just about everything tonight. You really did put the stamp on the victories. Walk me through your night and how your races went.
Well, qualified on pole. That was my first goal. And then just to, get clear and try to get away from Dam. I actually made a mistake, and he closed the gap down in the first race and was on my tail, had me worried for a bit. And then, I was able to get the dub there.
Yeah, for sure. That first race, Mike definitely gave you a pretty good run for your money. But in that second race, you got a heck of a first lap or so to put you up near that front and to get by a lot of cars. Walk me through the start of that second race.
The start was kind of weird. I guess the left lane didn't really go right away, so I kind of got a couple of positions there, like straight away, and then a couple guys spun in front, and then I think the hardest pass I had getting through there was with Kernan. I had to really hang it out in the grass pretty much to get to his inside, and then the battle with Rambler and Violet, I thought we were all going to wreck going into turn 2. That was super tight through there, and I'm just glad we all made it.
Yeah, you have to go back and watch that replay. It looked just as intense from our end as I'm sure it did behind the wheel. But really, all clear heads across. You guys did a fantastic job of keeping it together there between yourself and Scott and those guys. So, boy, just a great race. But once you cleared them, you pretty much just kind of checked out and put it cruise control. But then we're seeing right before the white flag comes out, we're seeing you're setting fastest lap of the race. Were you just in that kind of a rhythm?
That was my goal. Actually, I was like, man, I got to set the fastest lap. I can't go out of here without the fastest lap. So,
well, you can check that box too as another one of those goals. You had pole position to start, double wins, fastest lap, and the championship in the inaugural season of the Lamborghini Trophy Series. Where does this put this in successes here on the platform or even anywhere in motorsports?
I mean, it's pretty cool. And, it being a fixed setup series makes it super fun. Everybody in the series is, super fun to race with. I really like the inverted field. That made it really interesting and really challenging on the second races throughout the season. And, pretty big win.
Yeah, for sure. As this is definitely not exactly short on talent, any kind of a league. So if you can win and beating folks like Mike Dam, Travis Wenke, and Tony Kernan, you know that you've earned it for sure. So congratulations on that. Anybody you want to thank for your victory and supporting you as a team tonight?
Everybody at D2D, Chris Thorman, Bobby Childs, all those guys. I want to thank you guys for the awesome broadcast. Every time I watch it back, it's super fun to watch. You guys are funny. You guys are professional. It's super sick, And, Ricmotech, Proforma, Elite Texas Graphics for sponsoring the series. And our team sponsors, Skull Sim Gear and Proforma Elite Texas Graphics.
Congratulations again, Caleb. Well-earned victory and championship here tonight. So go off and do a little bit of celebrating tonight and enjoy this one.
For sure. Thanks, guys.
All right, there you go. Caleb Lavender, our Season 1 champion here in the Lamborghini Trophy Series. And Larry, he thought we were funny. That probably the very first person.
That didn't surprise me, but he said professional.
Yeah, I guess that's probably more surprising than the whole funny thing. Thank you for the compliments there.
I appreciate it for sure.
Caleb, yeah, we definitely appreciate it. And Larry, it has been a wonderful first season here of the Lamborghini Trophy Series, and we'll talk a little bit more about Season 2 in just a moment. But if you guys like what you saw here tonight, if you like the broadcast, if you think we're professional and maybe even a little bit funny, go ahead and give us a thumbs up here on YouTube. And if you haven't done so already, go ahead and subscribe to Apex Racing TV and click on that notification bell so you can find out about when we have all these great virtual motorsports events around the world over every single week, seemingly 24/7, and you'll definitely be glad you did. You can also find us on social media, on Facebook, on Instagram, and on Twitter at Apex Racing TV, all one word. And I want to thank everybody who's watched us here so far this season. Big shout out to Stubby, who is a regular, and he's here every single week cheering everybody, especially Bobby Childs on. I'd like to think that he's here for us, but want to thank everybody who's been with us so far this season. And more action coming for season number 2. And if you'd like to find out more, first off, if you want to see the final point standings here and then find out who's going to win that big end of season prize for the laps around Las Vegas Motor Speedway in a Lamborghini Gallardo, go to extrememotorsports99.com. And you can also there find out, as Bobby was talking about, lots of openings to join us for season number 2. And you go there and you can fill out the application, and hopefully we'll see you on the grid come this May. Oop, I might have just tipped things off just a little bit here. But all right, Larry, so let's take a look and see what we've got coming up on the schedule here next week. And is it next week? Oh my gosh, it is almost December already. Next week, the Ricmotech World Challenge returns for round number 7. That's 7 of 8. And we're going to be at Daytona for the road course there. It's going to be great action between our LMP2 and GT3 drivers. You'll see the Lamborghinis come back, but you're going to see a lot of other GT3 chassis as well. And then come January, we kick off season number 20 of the Classic Sprint Series. Those are our MX-5 drivers. We're going to be at Daytona for that as well. So come join us January 10th. And then for season number 2 of the Lamborghini Trophy Series, our fixed Lamborghini series, we are going to be kicking things off May 9th. Oh my gosh, it's going to be right around the Miami Grand Prix. But you got time to think about it and submit that entry. We don't know where we're going to be yet, but I guarantee you we'll be somewhere. So come on and join us. And again, you can find out about all of our great Ricmotech series by going to extrememotorsports99.com. And so for Larry McLeod, for Dennis Branch, for Jonathan Grabowski, I'm Greg Ginsburg. Thank you so much for joining us here on this inaugural season of the Lamborghini Trophy Series, and we'll see you next Monday night.
Ricmotech, high-performance sim racing equipment. There's only one place to go, ricmotech.com.